One day as usual, when she was walking in hallway, she heard Mr. Duma and Mr. Chica were talking about her in empty corridor.
I'm telling you, Chica, it's becoming uncomfortable. Emily's changed. The way she interacts, the looks, it's not the same as before.
Yes, I have noticed too. Well, maybe a little extra attention isn't so bad. She certainly seems to expect it.
Her heart raced as she never thought it will go too far. Emily had always been the pride of Silver Oak Academy, a place reserved for the brightest minds and most disciplined hearts. At 18, she was everything one could imagine of a top student, intelligent, beautiful, and driven. Every morning she wore her blue and white school uniform with pride, her dark, luminous skin glowing, and her eyes always sparkling with ambition. But there was something different about this particular day. It began when she noticed herself struggling more with her notes, the pressure of exams bearing down harder than ever before. The students around her were buzzing about, more tense than usual. She was beginning to feel the weight of it all herself when Cleo slid into the seat next to her. Cleo was known for her sharp mind and even sharper tongue. She was the sort of girl who enjoyed bending rules just enough to get what she wanted, and she looked at Emily now with a knowing smile. "Emily," she began smoothly, "you know you don't have to work this hard. You're beautiful, intelligent, and we both know that some of our teachers can't seem to take their eyes off you." Emily laughed nervously. "What are you talking about, Cleo? I work hard because I want to earn my grades, not because of whatever you're implying." Cleo leaned in, her eyes dancing with mischief. "I'm just saying. Look at Mr. Duma, the literature teacher. He can barely finish a sentence when he talks to you. And Miss Chica? She practically gushes over your work. They'd be happy to help you. Maybe give you a little extra attention, you know." The words settled heavily in Emily's mind, but she quickly pushed them away. She wasn't that kind of person. She believed in hard work, improving herself through dedication, not favors. But as the day wore on and she grew more tired, Cleo's suggestion kept nagging at her. Could things really be easier if she used her looks? Over the next few days, the pressure continued to build. Emily found herself awake late into the night, revising over and over, only to feel exhausted by morning. She started slipping in her grades, falling just below her usual standards. Her teachers noticed, too, their eyes lingering on her in class, some looking concerned, others more intrigued. And so, on a particularly rough morning, when she saw her tired reflection in the mirror, something in her wavered. She decided to test Cleo's theory. She tied her hair differently, let it fall in loose waves, and added just a touch of lip gloss. Her reflection looked back with a slight, uncertain smile. That day in Mr. Duma's literature class, she raised her hand more than usual, her voice gentle, her gaze lingering just a moment longer than necessary. When she handed him her essay, she smiled at him and softly said, "I hope I did all right." Mr. Duma seemed to stammer slightly. His face flushed as he nodded. "Of course, Emily, you always do well." Days passed, and to her surprise, Emily began noticing a difference. Some of her teachers offered her subtle hints during tests. Others gave her extensions on deadlines she'd never have received before. Her grades shot back up, but her late nights with books became a thing of the past. She felt relieved, a small thrill that she hadn't expected. But that relief didn't last long. Her classmates began noticing the changes too. They whispered behind her back, calling her names she'd never thought would be used for her. Teacher's pet, cheater, and worse still, some began to call her fake. But the worst sting was when some of her own friends, girls who had once admired her, began to drift away. She was now alone in her triumph. One rainy afternoon, As Emily was packing her bag in an empty classroom, she heard the echo of voices from the hallway. She peered out and saw 2 teachers speaking in hushed tones, and she froze when she caught her name. "Emily's quite something, isn't she?" Mr. Duma's voice was filled with a strange mixture of admiration and reluctance. Miss Chica replied, a serious tone in her voice, "Yes, but it's becoming a problem. The students are starting to complain about favoritism, and it's hard to deny that she's not taking advantage of certain advantages." Emily's stomach dropped. Her heart beat wildly as she quickly walked away from the door. The teacher's words played over and over in her mind. She had never considered that they'd notice, or worse, talk about her this way. It had been Chloe's idea, but now Emily was the one in trouble. The rumors continued to grow, and with each passing day, Emily felt the walls of Silver Oak closing in around her. The teacher's smiles, which once reassured her, now felt like unspoken threats, loaded with meanings she couldn't understand. And her classmates' whispers became more poisonous, more mocking. Finally, Miss Neka, the school principal, called her into her office one morning. Emily entered, her heart pounding. "Emily," Miss Neka began with a voice colder than the concrete walls around them, "we've received complaints. Complaints from teachers, complaints from students. I don't know what's been going on, but Silver Oak Academy has a reputation. We cannot tolerate behavior that threatens that." Emily's mouth went dry. "But Miss Neka, I didn't. I only wanted to." But Miss Neka held up a hand. "We have no choice, Emily. You're expelled, effective immediately." Emily's world shattered. Just that morning, she had walked the halls with a glimmer of hope, believing she'd find a way to get through it all. But now, everything was over. She returned home that day, greeted by her parents' silent, disappointed faces. Her father finally broke the silence. "Emily, we raised you to be better than this." Her mother didn't speak, only looked away, her disappointment even heavier than words. Silver Oak Academy was behind her, and the family managed to enroll Emily at Mikasa High, a public school worlds away from the prestige she had once known. On her first day, she felt the stares of her new classmates, their eyes curious, almost suspicious. They had heard the rumors, too. For weeks, Emily kept to herself, sticking to the shadows, her heart still aching from the humiliation. But slowly, a new resolve began to form. She was more than what the rumors had made her out to be. She would prove herself through her actions, her dedication, her true strength. One day, she joined a study group, and without the pressure of maintaining a perfect image, she started to thrive again, discovering her passion for learning without shortcuts. But deep inside, she knew she'd carry the lessons from Silver Oak with her forever. She had learned that there was a power in beauty, yes, but a greater power lay in integrity. In time, the story of the girl who had fallen from Silver Oak and risen again at Mikasa High became one of caution and resilience, a reminder that the true strength of character is tested not in how high you can rise, but in how well you can stand when everything falls apart. What are your thoughts on this story?